Hello students, today we are going to start a new unit and that is unit number 2 in which we will today start a new chapter and that is chapter number 5 morphology in flowering plants. And in this chapter we will discuss today about the topic. So before we start the chapter, let me go through one analysis and that is last 10 years analysis and that is from 2009 to 2019 from NEET examination. Okay, and here you can see a list of topics which we will learn in this chapter and that include the roots. You can see here from this topic 12 questions were asked in last 10 years. Okay, from the topic the stem 26 questions were asked in last 10 years. Then the leaf 18 questions were asked. From the inflorescences topic 11 questions were asked. Okay, and from the flower topic you can see 72 questions were asked in last 10 years. Okay, then fruits 44 questions, from the seeds 12 questions, and from the technical description of some families from that particular topic 46 questions were asked. So by using this analysis you can get the idea from this particular topic, that is from the flower, mostly questions were asked in last 10 years. So you can get the idea which topic is most important. So first of all, let me go through definition of a morphology. What is a morphology? It is the study of an external form of an organism. Here particularly we are discussing about the plant morphology. That means we will discuss about external form of these plants. Okay, so if you observe from the external side, this plant body is there. Okay, this plant is there. You can observe that there is a root system, underground root system and upper ground shoot system. Okay, so you know very well any plant having two portions, shoot system and root system. Okay, in root system you can see primary roots, lateral roots, and all the structures will be obtained. Okay, then in the shoot system, stem, this is the nodes. Okay, then internode, axillary buds, this one in the corner or axile. Okay, then this one is a node like that. Then petiole, blade. Okay, apical bud, this one is the apical bud, this is the leaf. Okay, so all these structures you can observe from the outside or external form of the structures. Okay, and such a study of such an organism, including here we are discussing, especially in this chapter we are discussing about plant. So if you observe any organism from outside, okay, so whatever you study, you can study and observe that all included in the morphology, such as the leaf, stem, roots and flowers and seeds and all that. Now here specifically we are talking in this chapter about the angiosperms, because angiosperms are considered as flowering plants. Okay, so the topic name is the morphology of flowering plants. Okay, so angiosperms are characterized by presence of root, means in any angiosperm if you observe they will have roots, stems, leaves, flowers and fruits. So study of all these structures are included in the morphology. In this chapter we will learn each structures one by one. Okay, and in today's lecture we are going to learn about the roots. Okay, in next lectures we will learn about stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. So here you can see main part of any flowering plant is consist of two regions. Root system, that is underground part. Okay, and this is the shoot system outside of the ground, and that is it is written here above the ground. So two parts are there mainly in any flowering plants, root system and shoot system. Okay, one is underground and one is above ground. So today we are going to discuss about roots. So first of all, let me define roots. What is the particular definition for the roots? The roots show positive geotropism. What is the meaning of positive geotropism? Positive means in the direction of a geo, means in the direction of a soil. They will move towards the soil, and that's why here written positive geotropism they will show, because the roots always moves towards the ground or a soil, and that's why only they can consider as a geotropism. Okay, having a positive geotropism. Okay, so roots are the structures which have positive geotropism because roots always move towards the ground or a soil. Okay, so be very clear here. The roots are negatively phototropic. That means against light they will move. So they will not move towards the light. Okay, stem will move towards the light, but here root will towards the opposite side of a light, and that's why here written negatively phototropic. Okay, and along with that they are positively hydrotropic. That means suppose this is a bluish color water, so in the direction of a water they will move. Okay, it will move towards the direction of a water, and that's why it is positively hydrotropic. So positively geotropic and positively hydrotrophic. And very clearly you must know this lack of a chlorophyll. Here you can understand there is a absence of a green portion. Okay, root is not having a green color portion, and that is just due to a lack of a chlorophyll, means absence of a chlorophyll. So here chlorophyll content is not present, it is totally absent in this case. Okay, so roots, let me repeat, what are the roots? Roots show positive geotropism, negative phototropic reaction, positively hydrotropic, and lack of chlorophyll. This is all definition of roots. So let me discuss more about the roots. So it is the underground part formed from the radicle. So you must be remember, this is the radical portion which is present in the seeds. Okay, inside the seed there is a presence of a radicle in the embryo. Okay, so it is underground part and it will be formed from the radical portion of a embryo. So you must be clear about this. Okay, so root are the structures which will be formed from the embryonic region, and that is a radicle. So here you can see radical structure. And let me discuss about type of a root system. So here you can see types of a root system include three type of a root system. First one is a taproot system. This one here you can see taproot system photograph. Okay, then fibrous root system. Here this is a fibrous root system. Then adventitious root system. So let me discuss about each type. So first of all, let me discuss about taproot system. What is a taproot system and how it is differentiated from other types? It consists of primary roots. Okay, so whenever first root it is arise from the radicle, you know very well now, from the radicle only root will be arise. The first root which is developed from the radicle is considered as a primary root. You can see here, this is the primary root. Okay, and that is called taproot, and it's the branches. Okay, then it will be form some branches. Here you can see lateral branches is formed. Okay, and such a lateral branches or a lateral roots such as a secondary roots, it is considered as a secondary roots. Okay, further these secondary roots will form further branching. Here you can see very narrow branching is there, and that now it is called as a tertiary root. So primary one, a main branches, branches from that it goes secondary, and from the secondary branches it is called tertiary one. So by this way you can get the idea what is the primary roots, secondary roots, and tertiary roots. Okay, and mostly this type of root system you can observe in the dicotyledonous plants. So this type of root system you will observe in the dicotyledonous plants. Primary root is elongated from the radicle. Already I told you it is developed from the radicals. Okay, and one example here you can notice is the mustard plant. Okay, this is the example of a mustard plant in which you can observe this type of a root system. Next root system is a fibrous root system. Okay, and it is observed in the monocotyledonous plants. So primary root here is a short-lived. Okay, here you cannot identify this one is a primary one because all look like similar. Okay, whether it is primary, secondary, tertiary, all will look similar. Okay, and such a type of structure is called fibrous root system. Okay, primary root is a short-lived and is replaced by large number of roots. Okay, it will replace by the large number of very thin, you can see, fiber like structures. Okay, and these roots originate from the base of the stem. Okay, here you can see this is the stem. On the base of a stem it will be arise. Okay, and it will form a fibrous root system. Okay, an example here is a wheat. So you must be remember the example. What is the example of a taproot system and what is the example of fibrous root system? Next root system, it may be roots that arise from the part other than the radicle. As I told you, normally root will develop from the radicle present in the embryonic structure in the seeds, right? But sometime what happen, root may be developed from other parts of the body also, and that is very exceptional cases. Okay, very rare cases. So such a root which arise from other than the radicle, such a root system is called adventitious root system. So very clear about the adventitious root system. What is the adventitious root system? That means if root develop from other part of a body, like here you can see from the stem roots are developed. Okay, here also from the stem roots are developed. Okay, sometime on the leaf also roots will be developed. Okay, such a type of roots which is developed from other part of the body of the plant other than the radicle is called adventitious root system. Okay, example include grass, monstera, and the banyan tree. Okay, here you can see banyan tree. So these are the example, and you must be remembered with the example. And here you can compare all three type of a root system. This is the taproot system. Main will be very thick. Okay, then you can see branches will be narrow, then further branch will be further narrowing. Okay, and here you can see all look like similar structures. All length or a thickness will be similar. And here you can see from the stem, here this one is not a radical, though it is developed with the roots. Okay, so here what happened, stem, from the stem here root system is developed, and such a root system is called adventitious root system. So you can compare all three. Now next let me compare all three. Okay, so here taproot system, fibrous root system, and adventitious root system. Let me discuss about the differences. So first of all, taproot system will present prominently in the dicot plants. Okay, whereas here fibrous root system is prominent in the monocot plant. So this is all difference between the dicot and monocot, and these may be asked in 2 marks in board examination. So you must be prepared these definitions, and along with this you have to prepare the differences. Okay, what is a taproot system? The definition you should remember. Then fibrous root system you should remember the definition, and then you have to prepare the differences between taproot system and fibrous root system. Okay, next here you can see they develop from the organ of a shoot system. Okay, generally root system is different and shoot system is different. Root system is underground and shoot system is upper ground, right? But here what happened from the shoot system related portions, like here you can see nodes or stems or leaf or any part of the upper ground structures, the root will be developed, and such a root is called adventitious root. Next difference here you can see primary roots grow and become stout. Okay, you can see here it will become very thick, whereas here root develop from the lower nodes. Okay, and here secondary and tertiary grow from the primary root. Here you can see. Okay, whereas here they have same length and the diameter, no differences. You cannot identify here which one is the tertiary one, which one is the secondary or a primary. Okay, so this is all about the differences between taproot system, fibrous root system, and adventitious root system. Okay, and these may be asked in 2 marks, so be well prepared for these differences. So now let me go through next topic, and that is regions of root, and this topic may be asked as a 4-mark question in the board examination. So you just have to prepare very well with the notes. Okay, so here you can see a list of regions which is found on the roots. So it is starting from the root cap. Here you can see this is the structure of a root cap, look like a cap, and that's written root cap. Okay, and then next portion above to that is a region of a meristemic activity. What is the meaning of meristemic activity? Here cell division process is highly active. Okay, meristemic tissue is a tissue which can grow rapidly with the cell division. Okay, so meristemic activity, that means what? Here tissue is very active for the cell division. Okay, so cell division portion is this. Okay, so region of meristemic activity have very active formation of a cells. Okay, means the cell division is very highly, we can say, proceeded here in this region. Next region after that is a region of elongation. So here you can see region of elongation. In this region do not show any type of cell division. Here number of cell will increase in region of meristemic activity due to cell division, but here what happen, the size of a cell will increase in the region of elongation. Okay, so you must be very clear, in the region of meristemic activity there will be increase in the number of cells. Okay, here number of cell will be increased just because of cell division processes. Okay, and here what happen, in the region of elongation there will be increase in a size. Here cell number will increase and here size will be increased. So this is the difference between these two regions. And next is a region that is a maturation region. Here this one. Okay, so this one is a region of a maturation, and in this region, particular region, cell differentiation will occur. Okay, here cell differentiation will occur. So let me repeat, this is the root cap, right? And here a region of a meristemic activity, that means here cell division is actively done. Number of cell will be increased in this region. Then here in this region size of a cell will increase, and then here cell differentiation will occur. And as a result of cell differentiation, you will observe some cell will be converted into root hairs. Okay, here you can see some cell will show you root hairs due to maturation. Okay, so these all are the structure you can found in the roots. Let me repeat, root cap, region of a meristemic activity, region of elongation, region of a maturation, root hairs, like that. Okay, so let me start with the root cap. So it is the covering at the apex of a root. You can see on the tip of the root there is a presence of root cap, and it is a protective structure. Okay, and it will protect the tender apex of the roots. So this is very important structure, and it will be protect the root of the, you can see meristemic activity, having meristemic activity region is highly sensitive. Okay, and if damage occur in this portion, then activity of the cell division will be stopped. Okay, that's why this cap or a root cap will be protect this portion. Okay, so it will protect the tender apex of the root. Next region is a meristemic activity region, in which I already told you, seen above the root cap. Okay, here the cells are very small, thin walled and with dense protoplasm. Okay, so here cytoplasm will be very dense. Okay, and they will show you division, very rapidly division. So cell division, highly active cell division will be observed in this region. Okay, so here it will seen on the root cap. Okay, very small size cell will be there because it is newly generated cell, and they say they are small size, thin wall and dense protoplasm will be present. Okay, they divide rapidly, and that's why here in this region you will observe number of cell will be increased just due to cell division. Next region is the region of elongation. Okay, so here the region just above the meristemic region. Okay, here cells will undergo rapid elongation, or a size will be increased. Okay, or we can say enlargement will occur of the cells. Okay, as a result of that, here in this region you will observe a size of a cell will be increased. Okay, and help in growth of the root in the length, and as a result of that, if cells of this region, if it increase in the enlarge, okay, in increase in the size or enlargement occur, then what happen, you can see it will result into growth of a, or length of a root will be increased just due to elongation of the cells. Okay, next region is a maturation region. Okay, so here very unique and very important phenomena will be observed, and that is cell differentiation. Work distribution will be occur. Okay, and that is called maturation process. The region proximal to elongation zone, near to the elongation zone here, okay, you can see here a cell differentiation will occur and it will mature, and as a result of that you can see here in this portion you will easily identify. How you can easily identify? Because just the present of a root hair. If root hair is present, that you can get the idea this portion is a region of a maturation. So this is a unique identity. Okay, so these are the structures. Region of a root, you can see root cap, then region of a meristemic activity, then region of elongation, and then region of a maturation. Okay, so let me see about the root hairs. They are very fine and delicate. Here you can see very fine and delicate thread-like structures formed from the epidermal cells in a region behind the region of elongation. Okay, near to the elongation region you will observe this one. Okay, they absorb water and mineral from the soil. Their very important function to absorb the water and minerals from the soil. Here in this slide you can see a list of functions which is carried out by the root. So this is the normal function of a root. So absorption of water and mineral from the soil, this is a normal function, you know very well from previous standards. Okay, provide a proper anchorage. Okay, it will provide proper anchorage to the plant body and it will support the plant. Okay, storage of a reserve food material, this is also normal function, and synthesis of a plant growth regulator, and that is one kind of a hormones. So synthesis of plant growth regulator or a hormone can be done with the help of roots. So these all are a normal function of any roots. So now let me go through modification of the roots. What are the modifications of the root? So in some plants, not in all, okay, it is not it is not observed in all plants, but in some plants roots are modified to perform functions other than the absorption. Generally root function is the absorption and conduction, right? But here they will modify to do other functions also. For example, swollen foods, for the food storage they will store food also. Okay, this is a modification of food storage. Then prop root for the balancing, okay, and support. Then stilt root, that is also for the balancing and support. Then nematophore for the breathing process. Okay, so these all function will be carried out by the roots, and that is modified root. So in this topic we will learn about the modification of roots. So next, here you can see first of all swollen roots for the food storage. So here root will be swole just due to a presence of or a stored food inside them. Okay, you can see here this is the carrot, one of the example, then this is the turnip, and this is the sweet potato. Okay, so example of such a swollen root which is modified for the food storage and become underground, and that is a taproot of a carrot. Okay, here you can see taproot system is there. In the turnips, this one is a turnips or a beets also. Adventitious root, and you must be remember taproot modification found in the carrot and turnip and beetroot. Okay, an adventitious root of a sweet potato. This one is a sweet potato, but here these roots are a adventitious root modification, and these both are a taproot system modification. So here you can see this is the fusiform. Okay, this structure is called fusiform. So after food storage it become like this. Okay, and if become like this, then it is considered as a fusiform. Okay, and this is found in the radish. Okay, then this is the nappy form. It is found in the this type of turnips or beetroots. Okay, so this is the nappy form. Okay, then this one is the conical form that is found in the carrots. Okay, this is a tuberous form, and these you can observe in the sweet potato. These all are the structure. So after food storage it will become look like this. Okay, and if it is a structure look like this after food storage, then it is called fusiform root. Then this is a napiform root, and this is the conical root, and this one is a tuberous. So where fusiform will be observed, it will be found in the radish. Okay, napiform will be observed in the beetroot or turnips. Conical root will be found in the carrots, and tuberous root you will observe in the sweet potato. Okay, so you must be remember all these examples. So swollen roots, root will be swole just because of food storage. Here you can see all the examples. Next modification is a prop roots, and that is for the support. Okay, you can observe here this is the banyan tree, and this one is a hanging structure, and this is a hanging structure is also one type of adventitious root, because these hanging structures is formed from the stem system. Okay, not from the radicle. It is this is a develop from the stem. Okay, and that's why they are calling as a adventitious roots. So hanging structure that support banyan tree. Okay, it will support the banyan tree, and that is also called prop roots. Next is the stilt roots, and this is also for the supporting. The supporting roots coming out of the lower node. Here you can see it will coming out of the nodes of the stem. Okay, it is also not formed from the radicle, and this is that side is also adventitious root. So you must be remember this is also adventitious root. The supporting roots coming out of the lower nodes of the stem. Okay, such a root is called stilt root. So you can observe this type of stilt root in case of maize and in case of a sugarcane. So you must be remember these examples. Along with this example you must be remember. Next modification is a pneumatophores. Okay, so here pneumato means pores. Okay, so pneumato means pores, means pore containing roots. So all on the roots you can observe pores on them. Okay, that's why pneumatophore name is given. So what is the function of these particular roots? The roots that come out of the ground. Okay, here you will observe negatively geotropic roots. Generally it is positively geotropic, means it will be moved towards the soil, right? But these type of root will come out of the soil. So this is a difference. Okay, slightly difference, an exceptional case this one. Okay, so here it is negatively geotropic, or we can say positively phototropic, because it will move towards the light. Okay, it will come out of the soil, you can see here. Okay, so as a result of this you can observe these type of structures outside the water, this water body and the soil. The roots that come out of the ground and grow vertically, here you can see they will grow vertically upward to the oxygen, to get the oxygen for the respiration. Okay, so by this way they will get the oxygen due to presence of this pneumatophore. Okay, so pneumatophore present on them. So example include rhizophora growing in the swampy area. This is the swampy area. Okay, and in mud containing area we can say swampy areas in which this type of roots you will observe. An example include rhizophora. So this is your homework for today's lecture, and before we finish this lecture, let me summarize whole topic by using one animation video. So look at this video.
Flowering plants or angiosperms are one of the most diverse groups of plants found on our planet. Although there are variations in their external structure or morphology, all of them are characterized by the presence of roots, stems, leaves, flowers and fruits. The portion of a flowering plant above the ground is termed as the shoot system, while the portion below the ground is termed as the root system. The root system provides proper anchorage to the plant. It helps in the synthesis of plant growth regulators and is responsible for the absorption of water and minerals from the soil to different parts of the plant. From the tip upwards, a root has a root cap, a region of meristematic activity, a region of elongation, and a region of maturation along with root hairs. The root cap is a sheath of cells present at the tip of the root that protects the root while entering the soil. The region of meristematic activity is just above the root cap, where the cells are very tiny and rapidly divide to produce new cells for growth. The region of elongation has cells that undergo rapid enlargement and elongation that causes the root to grow in length. The region of maturation has elongated cells that differentiate and mature. The primary tissues and root hairs develop here. The root hairs are fine, delicate structures that emerge from the region of maturation and assist in the absorption of water and minerals for the plant from the soil. There are various kinds of roots in flowering plants. In dicotyledonous plants like mustard, radish and carrot, the embryonic root or radicle grows into the soil to form the primary root. Multiple lateral roots, called secondary roots, emerge from the primary root. These secondary roots further branch into tertiary roots. The primary root, along with its branches, forms the taproot system. In monocotyledonous plants like wheat and coconut, the primary root is short-lived and is replaced by a network of many large and small roots originating from the base of the stem. This network of roots forms the fibrous root system. These fibrous roots spread laterally and do not penetrate deep into the soil, unlike taproots. There are some plants like monstera and grass, which have roots that do not arise from the radicle. The roots emerge from various other parts of the plant, like the stem or the leaf. These roots are known as adventitious roots. Some roots also modify themselves to perform specific functions for the plant. For example, the adventitious root in a sweet potato swells up and stores food for the plant. Similarly, in banyan trees, the modified adventitious roots, also known as prop roots, help support the tree. In plants like sugarcane and maize, the roots emerge from the lower node of the stem to support the plant. These roots are called stilt roots. Roots also modify themselves to help get oxygen for respiration. Such roots are called pneumatophores and are seen in plants like rhizophora that grow in swampy areas. Therefore, the root system forms an important part of a flowering plant.
In next lecture, we will learn about the stem. So till that, goodbye.